Thank you. I'm honored to be here today. I'm happy to join you all for the ribbon cutting in this great home. I know that there will be years of living that's done here, because that's what's done in every home. And as we celebrate the opening of this home, I want to pay special homage not only to the people who will live here, but also to the kind of partnership that made this possible, the public-private efforts, as we try to figure out new solutions for age-old problems. We cannot rely solely on government. Government has to be the leader. Government has to set the tone. It has to say what needs to be done to the private sector and ask for their support and their buy-in. And that's exactly what happened here. And I'm proud to be a part of this, and I'm sure that for many years to come, every time people walk into this home, they will know that a lot of people cared. The government cared, the private sector cared, and it all came together at one time in one place. And that's what's really important. I don't want to take a lot of time, but I do want to kind of tell you a story, because for some reason I like to tell stories. So a long time ago, like about 35 years ago, I was in law school in Indiana. And on this particular day, I had decided, for reasons I still don't understand, to go to the grocery store. And it was a bad decision because it was about 3 o'clock, and I was supposed to have a meeting in the dean's office at 4 o'clock. I didn't have a car. I didn't really need what I was getting, but for some reason, I just felt compelled to go. So I get to the grocery store, I buy like 2 things, and it was about a 6-block walk, and then I had to walk about 8 blocks to the dean's office. So, back in those days, they didn't have all this automated stuff. The cashiers actually punched in the numbers, right? So the woman in front of me was with a kid, and I heard her whisper to the cashier, "When it gets to $8, stop." I didn't really take it in, but I heard it. And so she had a few things. She had a box of cornflakes, a carton of milk, some hamburger, and some strawberries. This was a really long time ago, because that $8 would have been gone after the first 2 things, right? So she, I'm watching the cornflakes and the milk, and everything goes, and it's $8.36. And then I look up at the clock, and I have 15 minutes to make it to the dean's office. And back in those days, when it was an overring, they had to pull everything back and do it all over again. And I'm thinking, this is gonna take forever. And I saw the cashier raise her hand and yell, "Overring." I was like, "Oh, no. And I just handed the cashier $1, and I said, here, just don't put anything back, don't put anything back. This was not an act of charity. This was an act of expediency. And this woman turned to look at me, and at that moment I really saw her, because I hadn't really seen her before. And she was thin, and she had on a dress that had seen a lot of better days. And the little kid was about 8. And he had on hand-me-downs. And she whispered, "I don't have to put back the strawberries now." And I said, "No, you don't have to put back the strawberries." And she embraced me. And she hugged me so hard that she literally lifted me off my feet. Here's what I know from that story. You may not have a lot to give, but every little bit you give can mean the world to someone else. On that day, I learned that lesson. And I made it to the dean's office too.